All right, everyone, welcome back to Vuln Vibes. It's time for another deep dive. And this time, we're going to be looking at something pretty wild
Okay.
that happened over in Slovakia.
Oh, yeah.
So, have you ever heard of ransomware?
Oh, ransomware, yeah.
Well, I know all
Oh,
about
that
it.
for the people at home who haven't had the pleasure of encountering this wonderful little piece of technology,
Right.
it's basically like imagine all of your like digital photos and files,
Mm-hmm.
and everything is being held hostage until you pay up, usually in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah, you see it a lot these days.
It's pretty popular tactic with some of these cyber criminals.
It is, and it's becoming more and more sophisticated.
Yeah, it's scary stuff. Well, this ransomware attack that I was talking about over
Okay.
in Slovakia,
Yeah.
it's a little bit different.
How so?
So they didn't go after just, some random company or individual.
Hmm.
This time they decided to go after the Slovakian real estate register.
What's the real estate register? This is the only place in Slovakia where property ownership, easements,
Uh-huh.
pledges, and basically all the critical real estate data is stored.
Oh, wow. That's pretty major.
Yeah, so if you think about it, I mean, everything revolves around
Yeah.
knowing who owns what piece of land, right?
Absolutely. Like when you buy a house or want to build something or even settle an inheritance dispute,
Right.
it all comes back to that record.
Exactly. So uh, when that system goes down,
Yeah.
it's not just a minor inconvenience. This is like a full-blown crisis.
So what happened exactly? I mean, what are we looking at here in terms of fallout?
Well, immediately,
Yeah.
the entire register is offline.
Oh, wow.
Nobody can get title deeds. No new applications can be filed. And even accessing existing records is impossible.
So everything is just frozen.
Pretty much all ongoing real estate proceedings, whether it's sales pledges, I mean, they've come to a screeching halt.
Man, that must be causing chaos in so many areas.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about massive disruptions across the real estate sector, banking, construction. Even things like inheritances are being affected.
It's hard to grasp the ripple effect of something like this.
It is,
Yeah.
and that's just the immediate stuff.
Right. What about the long-term consequences? I mean, what happens if the data is lost or corrupted or even worse, altered?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, at this point, we just don't know the full extent of the damage.
So we're just waiting to see what happens.
Exactly. I mean, were records simply encrypted, or did they tamper with them? Can they even be fully recovered? The uncertainty itself is a huge problem.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, imagine the nightmare scenario where data can't be restored.
Yeah.
You could have ownership disputes, fraudulent transactions,
Hmm.
legal battles, dragging on for years.
Oh, yeah. It would be like someone just hit the shuffle button on all the property records in the country.
Yeah, it would be absolute chaos.
So let's say things start getting back to normal and the register comes back online. What steps should people be taking to protect themselves?
Well, verification is key. I mean, anyone who owns property, has a mortgage, or is involved in any kind of real estate transaction, they need to check their records as soon as possible.
Double check everything.
Exactly. Confirm their ownership status, double check property details. Any easements or pledges, just make sure everything matches up.
This whole situation really highlights how vulnerable we are.
It does. It's a huge wake-up call.
And it makes you wonder, could this happen elsewhere?
Exactly. I mean, if it can happen in Slovakia, it can happen anywhere.
What other systems do we rely on that might be vulnerable to this kind of attack?
Well, I mean, think about everything from our bank accounts and medical records to critical infrastructure like power grids and election systems. They could all be at risk.
It's a scary thought.
It is, but it's the reality we live in.
So what can we do?
Well, I think the big takeaway here is that this attack isn't just a Slovakian problem. This is a global issue.
Right.
It really highlights the importance of robust cybersecurity measures, regular backups, and just a culture of vigilance at every level.
Absolutely. We all have a role to play in this.
We do, and, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this situation as it develops. For now, we'd like to leave you with this question.
Okay.
What systems in your own life might be vulnerable to an attack like this? It's something to think about.
It is.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the Slovakian ransomware attack. And until next time, stay safe online.